Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. Andrew Tate, who's been going viral in these last couple of months, amassing I think over 1 billion views on TikTok and millions on Instagram and YouTube. In the last few days, Andrew Tate has been cancelled. Cancelled and banned from all of the main social medias. Yes, you've heard me, and bear with me right here. So he was banned on Twitter, I think a couple of years ago. Now he was banned on Facebook and Instagram, which you should know, they're both owned by the same company, Meta. He was banned on YouTube, that's owned by Google, and he was banned by TikTok, which is a Chinese company. Apparently they had a beef with America, and you would have thought if America or the West has got a problem with somebody, TikTok would be doing the opposite. But what's interesting is, in a couple of days, all of the social medias in unison removed him. Removed him. On Instagram, he didn't even have his own official page. On YouTube, he did, and on Instagram, he didn't violate the terms and conditions. So the point that I'm trying to say is, this is very suspicious. Whether you agree with him, whether you don't agree with him, the principle that gets put forward is freedom of speech. That's what gets put forward, And let's take that and use that as a yardstick, because it gets used internationally. And especially as Muslims, we're very well acquainted with that term, because anytime Islam is ridiculed and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is insulted, even though in our religion that's a big offense, we have to contend with freedom of speech. No problem. Let's have a look at the freedom of speech at this moment in time. So Andrew Tate has been wiped out. One thing before I continue that I notice about this is, it seems that the power amongst the social media seems to be centralized. Whilst to the unsuspecting public, it's somewhat known that, they're separate, and Instagram separate, Facebook separate, YouTube and TikTok is separate. Everyone's doing their thing. No, when it comes to this, there's a head. There's a head. What's interesting is Donald Trump, he was banned on social media. And what's interesting is George W. Bush and Tony Blair, who were responsible for the war in Iraq, the killing of 1 million Iraqis, in an illegal war. Tony Blair was knighted, and George W. Bush, the pathetic creature that he was.
And you're working hard to put food on your family. Who could have possibly envisioned an election in Iraq at this point in history? Underestimate.
More pathetic than Biden. Well, I don't know. He's pretty out there,
That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer, and why I can't for the longest time. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him...
George W. Bush has been selected to give a masterclass on leadership. The irony, the absolute irony. And Blair, I think he was responsible for Middle Eastern peace. It's like they're taking a mick. Of course they are. We know that, So, was it Jordan Peterson? He got banned on Twitter. Alex Jones, he also got banned as well. And now Tate. One thing you notice about all of these is they're right wing. They're the political right. So it's clear. And another thing that we notice from this is the social media and the governments, they're mostly leaning on the left. We know LGBT is being put forward by the government and by the education system, and LGBT itself is left-leaning, so you know the influence that the left has. Now, coming to Andrew Tate, he talked about a lot of things, and I think he was a very fascinating individual and an interesting case study. People can say, he did this and he said that. Look, no. Look, it's not as simple as he did this wrong, therefore he's banned. No, it's one rule for one person and another rule for someone else, Let's look at Cardi B. Cardi B admitted that she drugged and robbed men, but now she's the flag bearer, one of the flag bearers of feminism. KSI, one of the biggest YouTube personalities in the UK, he had something called the RAPE face. That's what he had. and you'd make this face and, trivializing RAPE. No, obviously disrespect towards him, but point that I'm trying to say is he put out a tweet saying, yeah, it's good that he's banned, but people are so short-sighted. It's the few inciting figures today, but it will move on to other people. Like, oh yeah, it's Trump. Like, Trump's bad. Look, they'll start at the people that are at 10 in terms of controversy, then they'll move at a 9, then an 8, then 7, 6, 5, then it's you and me. But who will be left to defend us? So Cardi B didn't get banned, KSI didn't get banned, and there's loads of figures that are online that have said and done stuff, but they have not been removed. Logan Paul, what happened with him? Yet he's still back up. He was not removed. So I'll make this point again. Even with Andrew Tate, some say that he was removed because of hate speech. Some say he was removed because of misogyny. Some were saying it's because of this news story that he did this with a woman and all of that. Okay, was he charged? Has he been to court? Like Alex Jones, he's in court now. You have a system in place. Use the system. You can't say, there's a system. And look, the system is not clear. It's one rule for one person and another for someone else. And what's interesting is, especially as Muslims, we're very familiar with this because there is an inherently biased policy in this country towards us. It's called Prevent. And through Prevent, even when we're traveling, we get randomly selected under Schedule 7. And in Prevent, little kids that have said stuff in class that have been misconstrued have been sent towards Prevent.
What is your views on homosexuality? Do you understand, with the culture in England at the moment, there's nothing wrong with being gay. People should have that right, just as you've got the right to practice your religion, you've got the right to be a Muslim. They've got the right to be homosexual, haven't they? The same right to protect you, protect them. So it worries me that you say you don't like homosexuality.
But it's against my religion. So how am I supposed to like it?
There's a difference between liking it and accepting it.
I do accept it, but I don't like it.
There's parts of the Bible, as with every religious text, including the Quran, that are no longer relevant in today's society because time has moved on.
And a brother that I know, you know what? Let's hear what he has to say.
I was approached by the MI5 in 2013 with an offer to spy on the Muslims. I rejected their offer. Since then, I've been Schedule 7 every time I travel. I've been harassed by the police constantly. On my last Schedule 7, one of the police officers asked me if I had military training. I said I didn't. And his follow-up question was, not even paintballing? So I asked him, since when has paintballing been classed as military training?
So this whole notion of freedom of speech is pathetic, yeah? Did you guys know that there is something called the D notice? That the government can influence the media and the news if they deem that, this bit of news we deem it to be risky for national security. And we know, okay, national security, all right, cool. But this has been misused. How was it misused? It was misused when it came to Biden's son, Hunter Biden. It was the whole laptop scandal. He left his laptop somewhere and there were a lot of funky stuff on there and it got discovered and it would have been detrimental to Biden. So the FBI turned up to Facebook. And here's what Mark Zuckerberg himself said.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. Hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's a very professional law enforcement, they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously. So the FBI got involved and suppressed that story, which turned out to be true. It was suppressed. Biden won the election. Then the story was allowed to, just like a fire, just to burn itself out. We know Julian Assange, a journalist whose freedom of speech has been curtailed because he is speaking against the government. And guys, I've been told by teachers as well that are going back to work now for the September year and they've had these inset days or are going to have these inset days. They have to do safeguarding and prevent training. And some of the stuff that's coming out now is if a child is going to Speaker's Corner, that's a sign of radicalization. If there's a sudden change in their clothes, sign of radicalization. The hell is this? And now Andrew Tate's been added in. Yeah, Sky News reported
that teachers have been told to be on a watch out and listen in to what the kids are talking about with regards to Andrew Tate. And the thing with Andrew Tate was his marketing I don't think was as effective as it could have been. He did too many things and he didn't have a filter. Like in Islam, we know to have a shura, a consultation. With him, he just said stuff unfiltered. Yes, he was playing characters and people couldn't tell the difference between his satirical comments and took bits out because that's what people were doing, taking clips out, putting them on TikTok, and that's what people knew of him. But he was talking about like masculinity. He was talking about the masks, those masks for men to have economical independence and get out of the matrix. He talked about obviously Trump, and he was very positive towards Muslims as well, which some people say he just wants to get the Muslim crowd. No, but he was appealing to the right crowd, the political right crowd. So for him to big up Islam didn't really make sense, but he did so anyway. So he had, of course, a lot of good things to say, but if you are genuine on this notion of freedom of speech, why curtail him? Why don't you flag the videos in which you think he's saying stuff that's inflammatory, leave the other stuff on? Because he talked about a lot of topics. Why is everything being taken down? So guys, let's not be reactionary and be people that just look at the leaves of the issue. Look at the roots of the issue. When it comes to removing people, this is very dangerous, incredibly dangerous, and it exposes the collaboration and collaborative kind of framework that the social media actually functions upon. Let's be real. Yeah, let's leave it there, guys. Food for thought. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's leave it there. Until next time. Assalamu alaikum.